I'm Carla Meske. This is Spirit Healer School of Shamanism Community Soul Gardening. For those of you who've been part of our soul gardening series, you know that soul gardening is our practice of journeying to the sacred spirits, setting up a gorgeous garden in non-ordinary reality with the intention that whatever we grow there will create fruit in our lives for whatever our life intention is. So, for example, in the spring, we planted soul gardens with the intention of what we wanted to produce in our lives over the summer. And through the course of the summer, we went back to our gardens and we harvested and we weeded and we composted and we did all these things. And in parallel to our journey work, we noticed in our lives that our lives changed, that we were able to reap some of the benefits of the gardening work that we were doing in non-ordinary reality. And many of the people on this call today have been part of the full series. So, like Lainey and Linda. And I welcome you guys. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate your coming. Thank you. I'm going to start by calling the spirits in, and in the way that we work, each of us has a sacred tree. And if you're new to shamanism and you're following along with us for the first time, just close your eyes and remember a place in nature that you really know and that you love, and ask to be there in all of your memory senses, the way you see, hear, taste, all that. Immerse yourself in that place in your memory and ask to meet a tree there that is important to you, a beautiful tree. That tree may or may not be part of that ecosystem, but when you ask to meet your important ancestral tree, that tree will come. So we're going to begin there, connect with our tree, and then we'll go around the circle calling in the 4 cardinal directions and asking them to open and for the compassionate spirits to join us. You may have as many trees as you like. Rebecca asks, can we have 2 trees? Yeah. Entering our personal sacred space, we connect with our ancestral tree. Mine is an old oak that has a craggly bark and big fat leaves in that oak shape and roots that reach down into the moist soil. What is yours? Ask that tree to be a guide with you today and to form a garden around you, that you may know where your shamanic garden is. There you go. Take you to your shamanic garden and connect with your power animals and your teachers there. Our gardens are all connected. If we look around, we'll see each other and each other's trees. Hi, everybody. It's a big forest today. Collectively, let's turn to the north and open the gateway of the stars. We ask you, power animals, teachers, and compassionate ones of the north to come. Guide us and protect us today. We have big work we are requesting, and we want your support. Please, for the good of all, for the good of our community, Yay. Notice if a special spirit or three comes for you today. Thank them. Oh. I see Athena. Thank you. Collectively now, let's turn to the east, an open gateway of dawn. We ask the spirits of the east, the compassionate ones, the fairies, the she, the strong spirits of the east who guide with truth and principles to come. We are creating a collective soul gardening today with the intention that what we plant reaps the benefits of clean elections in the United States this fall, culminating on November 3rd, my birthday. We ask the spirits who will help us in this endeavor to come forward. A woman spirit of the she comes forward whom I've never met, but she is a strong goddess, and I thank you. On the tarot, she would be the empress. All the spirits of yours are coming too. Thank you. We turn collectively now to the south, and we open the gateway of earth to the magnificence of everything that creates us and supports us here. Supports our ecosystem, supports our physical system. Without this, who are we? Sacred earth. The mystery and magic of you we call forward. Healing properties beyond our comprehension. We call the compassionate spirits of the South to come to support us in our cause today of creating a community garden, a community soul garden, whose fruits will bear a clean election for the United States and a restoration of the balance of our society, the righting of our ship. And we call now to the west, gateway of twilight, please to open. May the compassionate spirits who guard the gateways between the other world and this world come. May the ascended masters who know these things come. May the sacred spirits who will help us on this journey today of creating a community garden to heal the United States and give us clean elections. We raise our wand to the sky and call in the brilliant light force of the Creator whose idea of us became us, and whose idea we seek to embody and explain every day. May your light illuminate our intentions. And we reach our wand down now to the soil beneath us. And we ask, please, for our personal teacher to come, who will show us the garden that we individually will be creating and collectively creating today. Look now to see the perimeter of your space and of our space, and the center of this space. Identify it now in your shamanic world. It is strong. And before we return to open our eyes, there are two vessels I ask you to identify. One is the vessel where we will plant our desires, our wishes, our intention for what we shall grow. And the other is the compost pile, where we shall put everything that gives us apprehension. And we will, each of us, speak into those two piles and then do a ceremony to make it so. All right, we have Rebecca, Linda, Lainey, and Elove on the call today, on the Zoom, and I'm sure there's many more on Facebook. Facebook people, I'm going to turn my light over a little bit more here. Facebook people, I don't have the capacity to talk to you at the same time that I'm talking to the Zoom people. I'm very sorry. It's just, I can't do all that. So you'll just have to go along with us. So I'm going to lead this off. And our first part of this magic intention is to put into the vessel of what we wish to grow, the desired outcome that we have. Now, I am going to suggest that our collective circle be nonpartisan. However, your individual circle can be just as partisan as you like, because I do believe that having those different voices is what makes America powerful, right? So in the vessel of what I'd like to grow, I am putting a clean election, that the election is beyond dispute, that every recorder's office has accurate ballots, and that each person is able to vote, and that their vote is counted, and that no person is turned away for surreptitious purposes, and that no interference at any election polling place is permitted. That each person who wishes to vote can vote, and their vote is counted fairly. That is the intention I plant in the garden today. Rebecca, what intention have you?
I would like to plant the intention of grounding in my garden, which is fitting for the theme of a garden. I very much enjoy journeying and communing with the divine, and I want my roots to be very deep and strong and sturdy.
Okay, great, thank you. Lainey, what intention shall you plant in our community garden today?
My intention will be that the political party that will be best for our planet shine through.
Now, we might need to explain to the spirits a little bit about what that means.
Okay.
Because as I was preparing for this, Grandmother Sunflower said, "You presume we understand your form of government." So as you're journeying, keep that in mind, that the highest outcome they understand, but the mechanism for it is if you have a spirit that's looking at you cross-eyed, you might have to explain to them a little bit about our system of government.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like, that's just that. It's just that simple. It's kind of a new thing, the system of government we have. I mean, the Greeks had something similar to it, but they were a small part of humanity. And the Native Americans had something incredibly similar to it. So a lot of them get it. But there's been a lot of other stuff. So just in case you have to explain it.
I'll be ready.
Elove, what intention do you plant for our community garden?
I plant the intention of the highest integrity and honesty and clarity, and for it to be very succinct, that there's no delays or stalling or halting because of indiscrepancies. So basically, the bottom line is to have it be very succinct and of the highest integrity and truth.
Yay. I just dreamed that last night. I dreamed you're saying that. This is good. It might not have been last night. It's an old dream. You and I have done this journey before.
Yeah, I'm getting chills.
Yeah. Remember, Sunflower said about a year ago, she said, soul gardening should be a community activity. And so here we go. And it looks like who did we lose? Well, in any case, we're the ones who are here. All right, now into the compost bucket. There, we are going to put the things that we are wishing to see be biologically dissembled so that the energy behind them can be renewed, be used for renewal purposes. For example, I will put into the compost bucket right now my fear that the Postal Service will not deliver ballots on time and people's votes will be not counted for that purpose. I put that into the compost bucket. Elove, what will you put into the compost bucket? We can just go around a few times on this. We might need to.
Any cords and attachments to anything that is other than the highest vibrational integrity and truth. So anything that is not that.
All right. Do you have any specific idea?
When I was in that first part of the journey, I saw a rat come out, and the rat was eating away at all of those things. It was biting them through, cutting all those cords and attachments and energetics that would be placed upon the election otherwise.
So the rat was cleaning things up.
Yes. And then I saw the dragon actually for the first time ever come out through the middle of the tree, and then the tree split and then went back together again.
I love that.
I've never seen the dragon come out of the middle of the tree. It was like, this is to burn off all of the crud. So the crud would mean any fears, any apprehensions that are coming from people, any concerns. It's like all of that burnt off so that what is left is the highest order of truth that is vibrationally appropriate for mankind at this present time.
Cool.
Especially in order to upgrade. We want to upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Energetically.
Well, I'm just going to take a literal and throw another one into the compost bucket because I think that is necessary, actually. And the next one I'm going to throw into the compost bucket is voter intimidation. That any idea that guys with guns and big mean people will stand at the polls and intimidate people so that they feel afraid to vote because they're afraid of those people. That I put into the compost bucket.
Nice.
Yeah. Lainey, what will you put into the compost bucket?
I have a great fear. I put in the compost bucket the fear that many of our sacred lands will be destroyed by bad decisions.
Right. Okay.
So it goes along with whomever is in charge winds up being in charge will have us and our planet in their heart.
Great. So there's a whole template of man versus nature. And it's got long and attenuating roots. I see us putting that separation into the compost bucket. I'm with you on that.
Thank you.
Rebecca, what will you put into the compost bucket?
Well, I'd like to jump on the political boat now. I apologize.
That's fine. It's good. You got to have your personal and your, you got to have your personal garden.
I'm going to put voter apathy into the
Oh.
compost. Perhaps those that don't care enough, or those that feel they don't have two good choices to make from, or those that feel that their voices just aren't worth being heard, so they don't move forward and make their mark.
Good. I am going to put into the compost bucket lies. Blatant lies. All the lies. All of them. No matter what their purpose, I put into the compost bucket the energy of lying. Want to take another round around it? What will you put in the compost bucket, Elove?
The energy of injustice and fear-mongering.
Woo! In she goes. Lainey.
Deception.
I think it's so interesting that Elove saw a rat eating the cords, because the rat is the symbol of it's a symbol of lies and deception. So that the rat would be cleaning up his rap. The rat's cleaning his rap.
Well, in Chinese medicine, the rat also signifies biting through. So it means biting through problems, biting through anything that's in the way, removing obstacles.
Good.
So that's another interpretation of the rat.
Good. Yeah. Rebecca, one more into the compost pile?
I think I'd like to put in the energy of how do I put it? I guess succumbing to the intimidation of feeling that they have to vote one way or the other because of societal pressures.
Right. That's a big one. In she goes.
I have one more.
Oh, good.
The division of, or the separation of heart and mind. In other words, putting in the energy of when someone's being led in two different directions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And there isn't clarity. There isn't that heart-centered moving forward. It's coming from a very scattered place. So then the decision may not be of the highest good for that person or for everyone else. So it's like being misguided almost.
Yep. There you go. I see that going in. That's good. Yeah. Got another, Lainey?
It's similar. I don't want the fear of COVID to keep people from doing what they need to do for each other.
Right. Any more, Rebecca? Okay. So I want to put one more seed into our intention bucket, and that should be something for your very local level, right? And my seed in my intention bucket on the Arizona level is that our election officials will be incredibly proud of their having delivered clean and true results. That they are proud of the work that they've done that the election is valid and true. I put that seed into the bucket. Rebecca?
Come back to me, please.
Lainey?
On my local level, I put the seed in that there'll be enough helpers to be there to make sure that the polls stay open for everyone to cast their vote.
Ooh, and you and I can actually contribute to that. Let's get together on that and become helpers. Elo?
I'd like to put in the seed that there is actual early voting, that it's not left till the last minute.
Good one.
That
Awesome.
people are satisfied, they get it in early, and then good to go.
Oh, can I add one more?
Of course.
I would like to add the vote go to the end, no conceding.
Okay. True. Rebecca?
That sounds great. I don't know what else to contribute at this point.
So it is. Here's how we proceed, my darlings, to make this magic real. We will journey back to where we were with our tree into that beautiful, sacred, natural place. And you will ask your spirit, your guide, to plant a garden with you that will grow and become and flourish. And as it does, as the trees you plant produce fruit, as the rows of vegetables become harvestable, as the roses bloom, as this beautiful pond becomes filled with frogs and turtles and whatever, as your garden grows, so grows the truth and beauty we seek. I'll drum for us for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Here we go. Welcome back, my little chickadees. So I saw in our garden in the northwest quadrant, it was the quadrant of Athena and of the kinds of rightness that she represents, the rightness of society, the power of woman, the rightness of law. And she held that quadrant, and we planted 1,000, a million, a gabillion yellow roses. And they commingled with the white roses, and they became her beautiful light. In the northeast quadrant, that was the quadrant of the Empress. And she, with all of her regalia, filled it with water. And it was like the most, all the beauty of water on earth, held sacred, like washing back and forth. Everything about water that's perfect there. But in the southeast, which is often the quadrant where I see trouble, there was a dark, wolf-like, ogre-like, something that represents the problems that you might be facing. And since the problems that we are facing are rooted in mankind by definition, it's kind of hard to root them all out. But we can make it challenging for them. And so the spirits planted layer after layer, first of corn around them. First corn to make a corn maze so they would be confused and not know how to get in. And then vines that were entangling so that it became very difficult for the darkest aspects of human beings to become prevalent, for greed to win. And they made sure I composted greed, because that is the root of all of this. Greed for money, greed for power, greed, greed, greed. It's all there. So, and then in the southwest, all the indigenous people I've ever met and all the shamans and all the ancient wisdom and power came in and reforested the world with these rich, magnificent forests filled with all of the sounds of the monkeys and the birds and every single forest of its native pristine perfection. And they recommended that we plant one more thing which went everywhere, which was sugar food, flowers that produce a lot of sugar. So we, the hummingbirds, who are going to go out and man the poles and blah, 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 have a lot of energy to do that. And grandmother said, every week you come back. Every week you come back and you nurture this. This is very, very important. So that's what I saw. How about you, Lainey?
Well, both of the piles grew a tree, each of them, and then they twisted together to become one tree. It got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then so the tree was growing and the roots were growing, and then the roots were holding the planet Earth safe and protecting it. And then all of the humans were climbing the tree, and it became like the tree of life. And then their hearts were shining like fireflies. And so I don't know what that means, but that's what I saw.
That was beautiful, honey. Woo! What a vision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elove.
Okay, so I saw our seeds going into like an urn that was held by a female energy in the water. And the water is carrying those seeds to all beings. So this is about righteousness for all peoples of all nations, of all colors, of all lands.
Yeah.
And then, so the water is the carrier, and then the earth would be, the water carries the seeds into the earth, and then the seeds grow. And then I saw on each side tomato vines, and then layers, on top of each other, like you would see sometimes when you go over certain lands and you'll see these lines of crops, but they were all like up the side of a mountain. And I thought they were roses at first, but they ended up to be tomatoes. They were really shiny and very big and kind of voluptuous. And the compost pile was interesting because the ash and the smoke from that
Yeah.
was acting as a purifier like sage.
Yes, I saw that too. They burned the hell out of it and it went,
Yes,
and out of that is what Athena came out of.
interesting. So maybe that being in the water was Athena, like this universal representation. Then I saw thousands of butterflies
Oh,
that were a whitish yellow color. And they were just kind of coming up from the water and then just spreading all the way. So this is a transformational energy going through the universe.
I'm glad we're doing this. It feels right. Thank you.
There's a couple of other bits and pieces, but it was beautiful and very, I'm so gracious and have so much gratitude to you and all of the people that are participating. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca.
Well, Elove, I'm so glad that you had such a wonderful experience and my energy didn't throw you off, because I think I'm having an experience right now of when journeys go wrong, feeling quite scattered and lost and confused, and then finding laughter in that and finding humor in, sometimes we're there and sometimes we're creating and sometimes we fall on our face and we've got to just laugh on it and understand that maybe there's other stuff going on that we're not consciously aware of. So I just kind of laughed at myself and know that wasn't the most successful journey, but that's okay.
You know, it's interesting because that's what we are going through. We the people are going through that right now. That experience you just described, that's what we the people are going through as a
Well, I
collective.
guess that's what I was embodying at that moment. So I'm happy to do that. It's okay.
You know, what's interesting is that the shaman sometimes takes the role of being a surrogate for the thing which needs to be healed. So thank
Okay.
you for that. Yeah,
Potent.
good work. Thanks for holding that space. And let's make sure you're okay. You check in with me, okay?
Okay.
All right, you guys have anything else you want to add?
I wanted to add about Rebecca. It's beautiful that you transitioned to joy and laughter. So that was the end result. So it's kind of like no matter what we go through, that's always something we can go back to come home.
Absolutely. And I know it's all in divine orchestration and perfection. And if that's what I'm experiencing in that moment, that's okay.
And I love that. I love the laughter. That gives me confidence because I saw at one point of the journey, I saw the possibility. I looked back at the compost pile and I saw the possibility that Trump wins and the Congress and the Senate are Democrats and he's prosecuted and we go into this dramatic boom, 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 you know, the kind of an outcome that's just like, and I asked grandmother what. She said, your journey is that we don't let this happen. Your journey is that the election is 100% valid and true, and that we are all in agreement that America's values are first. America's founding principles are first, and everything follows from that, even if it's messy. And she then moved into this place of people being joyful and at And I'm glad that you're mirroring that with your having laughter. Because I really do think your experience was a surrogate experience. Because doing collective soul gardening is a new thing for me. I've done a lot of shamanic soul gardening for us as individuals. You know, you plant your own garden with your spirits and you do your own thing. But to work as a collective, to bring the beauty of spirit and life, truth, and harmony and all the good through into our society and into our world, it's big. And I would not be at all surprised if there weren't always someone or groups of people who have what you just experienced, Rebecca. I think it's part of it. It's part of the human condition. You know, it's like we're doing theater here. And the biggest part for me was looking at that southeast direction it's some kind of a mean wolf type thing, you know, that's all personified as, I don't know what they're called. But that direction, and knowing we can't banish that's like, you can't banish your truth. You can't banish the human condition. All you can do is find ways to shapeshift it so that humans are part of the harmonic magic and are resonating with that beauty and creating that beauty. And I also saw that this is definitely not just about the US, that this is profoundly important for the world. It's a big deal what we're doing, you guys. Thank you for being part of it. And I also saw, because this is going out on Facebook, on the YouTube, and everywhere, that every intention that's put into this soul garden will go through a lens. Grandmother Sunflower, she's got that lens. And she's going to make sure that no intentions that don't fit her notion, because it's her garden, don't get in. Gotta love that. She wanted me to close with a little story about, Lainey, you haven't spoken yet. Lainey.
Yeah?
Oh, maybe you did. Yeah, do you have something you want to share right now?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for creating this for us. Thank you.
You're welcome. Grandmother wanted us to remember the importance of the old Celtic notion that the leader must marry the land. To be the sovereign leader, the leader must marry the land. It's not about the leader, it's about the land. It's about them being completely devoted to the harmony and bounty of the land and her people. And we place that intention forward, that as they did on the hills of Tara when they crowned a new king or queen, that the leaders of these that we elect marry the land and place their sovereignty in alignment with the land and her sovereignty and all of her people. And that this be the writing of the mast of the ship America. Okay, you guys. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
I feel hopeful. I truly believe shamanism can change the world, and our community soul garden for clean elections could indeed make the big difference. So please stay active in your soul gardens, stay active with our positive intention, and may all of our dreams come true. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.